It's live. Awesome.
Sweet.
There you go.
Oh, and we're live.
We are live. I was going to post. I don't have a lot really to share today, but I know you guys know that he's been feverishly working on a. Him and I both have kind of been collaborating a little bit on this kit, an upgrade kit for the X-Carve, and it's probably 90% done, maybe even a little bit more than that. I think what we're going to do is, I think you saw, I don't know that you've seen the latest version, Andrew, but it's even closer now. That whole thing is even closer to the extrusion a little bit now. And I think we're going to do two tops. The top where the motor is literally, vertical like it is, and another one where the motor is offset and hanging down off to the side with a belt. So by doing it that way, it gives you the option for different ratios, on the Z-axis. If you want a faster Z, it's a really easy way to do it. And it will clear. He measured it. It will clear. So we'll be able to do it one of both ways, either way, straight up or off to the side. So that's coming.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, would that take advantage of the belts and stuff that come with the X-Carve, or is that going to be a different setup?
If you go belt driven, the belts will change depending upon. So if you choose to go the belt driven way, I don't think we're going to provide belts. We'll just you'll buy the plate as an extra option. And we're not going to get into providing because it really kind of depends on what ratios you want. 1-to-1, 2-to-1, whatever you want. That belt is going to change. Right. So trying to keep track of that would be. It'll be a GT2 belt, yeah.
But my question is let's say someone wants to take advantage of. So they're doing an upgrade. So they're going to be able to would they be able to salvage parts from the pre-existing structure? And the pre-existing belt is, and I don't even know, but that would be an add value. Could you do that maybe with an extra set of holes or whatever? But the upgrade kit would allow zero reconfiguration of the Arduino shield, and I understand that most everybody here, with the exception I think me and Tony, have done away with the Arduino shield, and I do plan on getting rid of the Arduino shield eventually. But I haven't hit that point yet, so I guess my question is for someone who either doesn't know how to, doesn't want to, or for whatever reason chooses not to get rid of the Arduino, using that belt that comes with the X-Carve standard package would be an add value.
Well, you don't need to because
You wouldn't need it if you wanted to go the way they're using it on the Arduino or on the X-Carve right now. It's 1-to-1, in which case you just direct drive it and not even get the extra plate. You wouldn't even need it. The only reason you would go belt driven is if you want a faster. I don't know that you would do it if you needed a slower Z. I can't imagine why you'd want that. But I could see an application for a faster Z if you're doing pick to G code stuff. V-carve stuff.
If you go faster, your step per inch goes down, so your resolution goes down. If you go slower with your Z, if you do a 2-to-1, your motor is turning twice for every revolution of the lead screw, then your resolution goes up because it takes, instead of taking what is it now? It's 97 point yada yada yada.
Yeah.
You double that. For your steps per unit and everything. So
like I said, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, and just make sure that we've the kit, make sure that all
it would. I see what you're saying, and would the existing belt fit on there if you wanted to use it? And it's going to depend on. There are some limits there, and the limit being the width of the C-beam and whether or not how that top plate ends up being. So if it can happen, then that would be maybe a possibility. Certainly something worth.
It's a thought, and
it can be done.
Right. Well, and the more I think about it, if it's one to one already, and you're simplifying the entire mechanical drive of the whole thing, making it direct driven just by putting a coupler on there and going straight from the motor shaft to the Acme screw shaft would be better for a whole bunch of different reasons. So again, it's one of those. The more I talk about it, the less I like it. The idea of going. I mean, if you're wanting to put some kind of monstrosity motor, like a NEMA whatever that's like 15 pounds or whatever.
Harder to do, yeah.
NEMA 44.
Yeah, NEMA 44.
Yeah.
I'd actually thought
put it
about
on top. So, but
what I'd actually asked is if there was a way. We had talked about a way that you would basically just directly mount that motor on the end plate and have the coupler inside. And we could do it, but you end up losing some feed capability. As it is on that 250 millimeter C-beam actuator, you only get 150 millimeters of movement.
Right.
So every little bit is important on that. It would really
that has to do with the wheels.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could get one at 300 millimeters, a custom one made at 300 millimeters, and I don't know that that's not impossible, because the guys at Open Builder, Eve seems to have a pretty good relationship with them, and that might be something worth looking at.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, it's an extrusion, so why can't you just order it however the hell long you want?
Well, because that's the only source for it is them, and I think the longest is 1,500 millimeters. A guy could buy the 1,500 millimeter lengths, and we would just cut them ourselves to whatever length we wanted and sell them ourselves. I don't know how. There's some unanswered questions here about selling all this. I don't know how it works because all this stuff is open sourced, and he hasn't really talked to the guys at Open Builder yet. So I don't know how all this will work. I suspect it'll all be fine because he seems pretty. I think Tom is the guy's name. I'm not sure, but I suspect it will be fine. Here's
my question: isn't that C-beam extrusion? I think you can buy that from 80/20, if I'm not mistaken.
80/20? No, I don't think that. I've never seen a.
Not in C-beam.
No. Let me grab my 80/20 catalog. I've got an 80/20 catalog. Just a second. Someplace I've got an 80/20 catalog. What the hell did I do with it? I didn't throw it out, did I?
Let me just pull my 80/20 catalog off the bookshelf.
All right, where's my 80/20?
T-slot profile. 80/20 T-slot profiles, metric T-slot profiles. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm on their thing now.
All right.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing it.
I was on the website the other day, and I thought that I saw it, so that's why. Because I'm looking at replacing my bed with T-slot, with metric T-slot, and I was just kind of looking around because I've got that 1,000 millimeter bed, so I'm trying to figure out what's going to make the most sense. And I found a couple different options. But anyway.
Did I throw that catalog out?
No, I'm looking at it now, Dave. I don't see anything.
Well, I know, but it's got me puzzled. What happened to my 80/20 catalog? If I tossed it, I was in a cleaning frenzy here a while back, and that wouldn't put it past me to throw the damn thing out.
Well, like I said, I just looked it up, and it doesn't look like they sell that.
No, I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's coming. I think we're really close to having that done. I should know. I should have the end plates and the motor mounts. I'm hoping this coming week. So, and then.
Yeah, like I looked at that. I looked at that Z carriage, that retrofitted Z carriage, and man, that thing looks. It looks worlds more sturdy and than what comes on it. And like I said, the closer you can get to that carriage, the better off you are. The less bounce you get. 'Cause I don't know what else to do at this point. I can't reduce my bounce, and I'm almost to the point where it's going to be a complete redesign and rebuild of the
The gantry.
Yeah.
yeah, the whole go in order to reduce the bounce. So either a retrofitted Z or a whole new thing.
Have you done the gantry stiffening with the plate between the?
Yeah.
You've done that, and you're still getting bounce.
Yeah, and
Okay,
it may have something to do with my V wheels. It may have something to do with the V wheels. So that's going to be my next upgrade.
Here's an interesting thing that I've discovered about stock V wheels. I put my machine used the stock wheels that I got and put it together and ran the gantry back and forth and back and forth, and the carriage back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And
But you were saying before about the kind of bounce it gets, the divot that it makes.
well, what I've discovered is I've got my V wheels fairly snug, so you can't turn the bottom wheel. All right, with your thumb, you can't turn them. And when I leave that unit, the carriage sit in one spot for a period of time, and then roll it, every revolution of the wheels, I get a thump, 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 thump.
That Dermalin product is not. I mean, it's hard, but it's not rock solid. It's not like acrylic.
All right, but here's what's happening. All right, those V wheels are supposed to be 90 degrees. All right, so that they make contact with that rail for the length of the rail, or the width of that V.
Right.
All right. Well, they're not. They're touching at the very tips, and so when they sit there for a while, the very tip gets pushed out and kind of and it puts a flat spot on the V wheel right there where it's sitting. And so then every time you roll it one revolution, you come back to that flat spot and you get a thump, 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 thump.
That's it. So it's just it's a bad tolerance on those wheel creation or whatever.
It's the bad tolerance on those wheels being 87 to 88 degrees instead of 90. So they're only sitting at the very tip of the V. The contact is very small, and so when it sits, and because if you look at those wheels, the outer part of it is pretty thin, and so what they do is they spread it out, and the wheel sets down on the rail, while it's sitting there overnight or for whatever period of time, and then when you roll it, you get thump, thump, thump.
Yeah.
That's why I think mine are going to be aluminum.
Well, and I'm planning on changing out to the acrylic, the super hard or whatever they call them. Open Builder sells these acrylic wheels, and they're supposed to be a world of hurt better than the Dermalin wheels.
Well, they're wider.
Do what?
They are the Open Builder V wheel. That's a double V. So it's got a V in the center and a V on the outside.
Right.
I'm going to mute. I'll be right back.
Wait, we're switching over to this other Hangouts.
What's that?
We're switching over to this other Hangout. We're switching over to a new Hangouts link. John dropped off. Something happened. He didn't know. But can you check the Inventables forum, the chat? There's a link in there. We're gonna hop over to that. Got it?
Okay. All right.
All right.
All
See you
right.
there.
All right. Bye.